And then we'll go to the capital report. Nikki.
What was it, Jim? So, good morning. So, moving into the capital report, as at the end of April, Christchurch City Council has delivered 71% of the capital budget for the financial year, and we remain on track to achieve a year-end forecast of 91%. While this is slightly below the 93% projected in March, April's actual spend reached 95% of the month's start forecast. It's important to note that while recent monthly activity is tracking well, there's been a recalibration of year-end forecasts across the program as delivery expectations are refined. This reflects a more realistic view of timing and readiness, particularly for projects with significant pre-construction requirements. So within the CCC capital, excluding Te Kaha, project manager forecasts have adjusted from 488.7 million in March to 471.8 million in April. The project management, the program management office remains at our 500 million, and we're staying there. And this is based on the whole Q4 uplift and accrual patterns in June, etc. We've got a lot of long-term and short-term strategies in place that we're working along very closely with the project managers and project teams to ensure that forecasting remains on track. I've got Lynette here as well to give some news on some transport.
So since it's capital, I am aware that there's the operational report later in the day, but on a capital note, there have been a couple of big events in the last couple of days from the transport capital program, and Hallsville Junction Road extension has been opened and the place has been created. So would like to publicly acknowledge Councillor Peters and Councillor Chen before him, who worked really hard to get that project to go. The other one that happened just yesterday is that the business case for Pages Road Bridge has officially been submitted to NZTA, and we are on track for an August NZTA board meeting. It's the plan, so everything's running on track with that. The other thing I'd like to note, because we get a lot of questions, is that the QRail relationship is working really, really well. We are working well with them. I know it can be frustrating from your side of the table at times, but from a staff perspective, we're working really well. We are achieving it. And we are currently preparing a memo for Risk and Audit Committee that will cover the program and the prioritisation and the risks that will be circulated to everybody. So that's due to come out in due course. And the other one we have had questions about in advance, so I thought I'd front foot for you, is the CRAFT program. There are a number of projects well underway now. So as you're aware, there are sorry, I've got to count them, 5 areas where the work's being done, and then there's the PT program and the road safety program. The road safety program is complete. The PT work is sitting waiting off the back of the annual plan decisions, and then we'll push go and we'll get going on that. I'd like, there's been a lot of work done in a number of the areas. The Riccarton area, Dean's Ave's been complete. Dean's Ave and the Riccarton program will be about 85% complete by Christmas. I'm expecting that. And the other one that is due to have a good update with the board is the Spraydon, Summerfield, Waltham and Beckenham. It's a mouthful of a title, isn't it? Mm-hmm. That will be 75% update. We're 75% complete by Christmas, we're anticipating. There's an update due to go to that board in June, so that's coming up imminently. As you're aware, with CRAFT, the decisions are prioritised through the community board. So if there is a change, we go back and prioritise with the community boards. To speak to the other 3 areas, Richmond, Slater Street is underway, and that will be, hang on, sorry, let me get the right list. Richmond, Slater Street is under design and is up for an August construction start. So we're expecting that the Richmond package will be complete by Christmas. So that'll be 100% complete. The New Brighton program, the scope for Marine Parade was increased through the community board decision. And there is a resolutions report going in July, and that is planned to start August, September-ish. With the contractor's already been engaged, so we're again anticipating that's not far off being 100% complete. Once construction starts, that's the end of that program. And the final one's the Linwood-Woolston program. There was a decision in November to slightly change the priority to focus on Chelsea Street. That was made in November. The approval for the scheme, which has been completed, is due to the community board on the 7th of July, with construction following later this year. So again, that one's going to be looking really almost 100% done once construction of that started. So they are now, these packages are starting to motor along. We're getting very close to finishing the brief program.
That's a really good way to preempt some of the questions. That's cool. Celeste.
This isn't a question, it's just a thanks for the team's work on the Pages Road and also the craft project. It's really exciting to hear that that's where that's at. This is actually a question for probably Parks. It's around the Easter Edge, and I just wondered if there was any additional information you can get in to update, mostly for the public, on where that's at, and just a bit of a summary, because I think there's a little bit of confusion as to the consenting process being managed by ECAN rather than a city council part.
Sure, we can get you some more information on it.
Yeah, is there anything you can update publicly now, or is it best to come back?
I will need to come
Sure,
back.
that's fine, thank you.
Right, any other questions? Mark.
This is Lynette again, sorry. I noticed on the South Express capital list, it's talking about the Parker Street level crossing and Kiwi Rail having temporarily placed that design on hold. Do we have any sort of estimated time on how long that might be and take?
That will be covered off in that memo that's coming to you on the whole rail program.
Cool. And the reason I sort of think around that is we're looking at the idea of letting the other South Express construction tenders, and I'd hate to get it to the point where we've got constructed both sides of that and then there's a gap in the middle for people.
We're aware of that, and we're working through how we can do that.
And then I'll go Vic and then Yanni.
Yeah, thanks, Lynette. It's very good to see Marine Parade underway, because that'll gobble up a lot of our craft money, and the sooner we spend it, the better we are. Did you have good interest from the contractor? Did you get enough? Did you get plenty? And was it around budget or under what we'd estimated?
The craft projects had already been contracted prior to. We did them in a bit of a reverse process, remember? So they'd already been done, but we did get good interest at the time that we were doing it. So yeah.
And it's coming.
We're confident we can come in. Yeah. We haven't finalised the design. The resolutions haven't gone to the board yet. So we're still working with the contractor.
Thank you. Victoria and then Yanni.
Following up on the comments about Kiwi Rail, and I'm noticing that a memo is going to be coming to us. There's the commissioning of the railway crossings on the Northern Line route. I'd really appreciate a bit of an update on that. That date seems to be going out further and further. All this money's been spent on the infrastructure there and it hasn't been commissioned. So if we can just get a bit of an update on that, please, because it's dragging.
Yes. And for your note, councillor, the issue last week was a broken down train. Yeah.
Okay, then I've got Yanni.
So just wanted to check with the Chelsea Street in terms of the budget. So it was 0.8 and it's gone up to 3 million. How much confidence do you have in that 3 million figure, given that the designs should be complete now? So I'm just trying to understand. Yeah, like that seems a lot, but I know that we prioritize some money going towards it.
We did prioritise, and my understanding is that information about the costings is all in that report. So I'll dig that report out and recirculate it for you.
Is just because it's showing red, is that more than what's currently allocated through the previous decision, or is it more? Do we know?
No, I think it's, have we done the change? We've done the change request for that, haven't we? I think it's just showing red because we hadn't done the change request process in the, so this report is slightly out of sync with the change request process. Okay, so the keys are on the front page of the CRAF report. So red for forecast all years means, yeah, it's forecasting an overspend at the moment. But that's because we haven't done that change process.
So does that mean the board will then have to reprioritise any other remaining works basically to fund that?
No, the cost in here has been dealt with through the report to the community board already. We hadn't done the system.
Okay. And just on the Northern Line, do you have any sense of why we've had to upgrade some intersections and not others? Like, as I've seen that the way that goes through that community, it seems weird that there's a whole bunch of intersections that haven't had Kiwi Rail upgrades. Like far less, yeah, that theme, like by the new pack and play, for example. Northcote Road, like.
And touch Northcote Road, sorry.
But the cycle lane goes through there. So.
But it had, so we've upgraded, and I believe this has come through as a memo as to why that work was happening, or information to you as to why that work was happening. Take the difference between Herwood Road and Northcote Road. Northcote Road had its crossing upgraded a number of years ago, and it's got the crossing lights and facilities. Herwood Road had nothing, and it needed the actual base of the track to be upgraded as well to a new level. So we worked together with Kiwi Rail to do that.
Right. So it all depends on when the work was done, rather than.
And through the chair, that will be covered off in the memo. So we'll cover off some of that sort of information as to why it's prioritised, or how it's prioritised in that memo.
Yanni, I've got Aaron, Mark and Pauline, and then if you've still got more, Yanni, we'll come back. Aaron?
Yeah, so just one on because it's getting asked in the community a lot, a start date for the installation of the lights outside the school.
I haven't got that on the top of my head, I'm sorry. I believe we've put some dates back to you.
We just get that circulated.
We circulate that, yeah.
Okay, and then there was also, I think raised in it, there was something about drainage at the intersection. What's the issue there?
There is flooding issues at that intersection in down Gardeners Road, and that needs to be designed and accommodated so that the works are done at the same time.
What details on the flooding? Because I've only seen the flooding there once, and that I called it in, and then City Care actually cleared it in about 7 minutes. Obviously in the area.
I'll come back to you on that.
Mark and then Pauline.
I just wanted to thank you, Lily, and the team around attention opening, and also acknowledge the great work of Mike Mora, previous committee board chair, in birthing that project and conceiving it. So yeah, it's okay. Because you don't want to say.
All right, so we'll move to Pauline now.
Make the church corner lights gone live and are working.
Oh, okay.
Mentioned yesterday.
Yep.
Okay, we'll go to Pauline and then.
Just Lynette, just a quick one. Addington Brook, are you able to comment on that? So completion date will not be met due to additional concept design. But yet in the watch list it's showing on track. So
Is that your, that won't be your project though, will it?
is there anyone to?
Evan, yeah.
Back on it.
Yeah, I'll come back.
You come back on it, that's fine.
Complete the end date, but some of the phases, milestones within the project are not yet. I'll come back.
Okay, no, that's good, thank you.
Cool. Okay, Yanni, did you?
Yeah, cool. So just in regards to the MCR for Fitzgerald to Swans, so it's the Otago Avon route. The OARC. it talks about the high level draft route assessment, but I presume that's an MCR. It's not the ORC, is it? Because
It's not an MCR, is it?
It's not, it's still called an MCR in here, but.
Okay, let's ask the team.
so I was just trying to get clarity around the high level draft route assessment has been completed. I've seen it, but we're not able to share that with the community. I'm just trying to understand when we can share that with the community, but also like how could we get progress on getting that route confirmed? You're talking about unspent funds being moved out, yet it seems logical that we bring forward so we could get the route complete and then we can be public with it.
If you need to come back on that, Lynette.
I think that's the one we have to we will come back on it because I do agree with Councillor Donovan, it's different to the MCR out to the east.
So you think this
That
data
is the OARC project, not the MCR.
Okay, so if we could come back and circulate that.
So I think it'd be good to know, because in the draft annual plan, I think we're also looking at budget rephasing of that and pushing the budget out for that MCR, which is in this stretch.
The MCR we are, it's my understanding, but it's not the same thing.
No, but the commentary relates to the MCR, not the OARC.
So can we take that away as a bit of a, and then come back? Yep. Okay, so. You got anything else, Yanni?
I mean, I've put in through the draft annual plan around improving Bromley Road, so I think it's probably better to deal with that through that process. So, but thank you for staff to, highlight that there's a risk around that. But just, it's good to get that visibility.
All happy to move, Yanni's happy to second, all in favour?
Aye.
Right.
It's carried.